I'm going to teach you step by step. It's very technical. I'm going to give you resources. I'm going to give you links. I'm going to give you advice. I'm going to give you structures. I'm going to give you strategies. I'm going to give you all the tools you need. So if your aunts and uncles and sisters and friends are not watching this show, please text them and tell them there's a guy on here called David that's going to help you eliminate your student debt today. There are so many different programs to eliminating student debt. There's dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. By my estimate, more than 50% of people, right? More than 50% of people should have their student loan either eliminated or reduced. You qualify. You all qualify. Well, over 50% qualify. I didn't mean all. Over 50% of people, and the people who don't qualify, maybe foreigners, maybe people in, high-paying jobs, in business and things like that. But the majority of people do qualify for federal aid or student debt, aid somehow. Today, I'm going to give you those steps. Please pay attention. You don't have to take notes. You can always come back to this. You know what I'm going to do? My website is going to come up soon, david@efeso.com. And on that website, I'm going to give all these resources. Every time I speak to you, I'm going to give you all the resources you need to eliminate your student debt and to help you reach financial freedom. So let's start. Basically, there's two types of debt that you need to understand. One's called public debt. The other one's called private debt. Public debt is basically money that you borrow directly from the Department of Education. It comprises about 93% of all loans. So most of you who are watching me now saying, I'm drowning in student debt, I'm hurting, student debt is hurting me, I can't buy a car, I can't buy a house, I can't go on vacation, I can't feed because of student debt. Majority of you, 93%, have student debt that's public. Barack Obama, a few years ago, decided, you know what? He didn't like the predatory lenders that are, an 18-year-old kid wants to go to college. They give him a piece of paper. They say, sign. What's he going to do? He's going to sign. He doesn't know he's mortgaging his life away. He doesn't know that's $200,000 in debt he's going to have to pay back in the next 4 years. It's going to get a bill for $200,000. It's going to stay with him for the next 25 years. He doesn't know. Barack Obama was trying to prevent that. So he eliminated almost all of the student loan, the private student loans, and he brought it in, right? Majority of these loan programs, right, the direct loan programs are income-based. It depends on your income and your job. So the second type of student debt is the second type of loan is private loans. That's when you go to a company like Citizens Bank, for example, or Wells Fargo, for example, and you get a loan from them. About 77%. So 93% public, 7%. If you have private student loans, I'm sorry. Many of the things I'm going to tell you don't apply today. But I don't know what that was, man. It sounds like somebody fell. Well, who knows what that is? Maybe I'm making too much noise over here. Anyway, so pretty much what I'm going to be with private loans. Basically, what private loans are loans you get from private institutions, like a bank. And so what I'm going to be helping you decipher today is what works for public loans and also what works for private loans. So here goes. Although most of it applies for public, some of it does apply for private. Okay. Like I said, more than 50% of people qualify for loan forgiveness. But many people use loan forgiveness as a generic term. There's basically three different types of loan forgiveness. There's three different types of eliminating student debt. One is called loan forgiveness, one is called loan cancellation, and one is called discharge. Basically, forgiveness and cancellation are kind of the same thing, right? You no longer have to make a payment of a loan due to your job or your income. A discharge is different. That's when you don't have to make that payment because of something other than your income or your job. For example, a death or disability of the person who took out the loan, or your school closes, or you file for bankruptcy. So it's important to understand the difference between forgiveness slash cancellation and discharge. Okay, so let me tell you of all the plans that are available to you. Please pay attention. The first and the most important one you should know about are the federal government plans. These plans are amazing because what they do is they help you under this program called the Public Service Loan Forgiveness. They help you pretty much eliminate a lot of your debt. I'm going to tell you the rules and I'm going to tell you how to start. And I encourage you, if you haven't already started, please go start, right? So let me make sure I'm set because it's just me doing this. Okay, are we good? Everybody hear me? Alex, are we good? Let me make sure I'm good. Bear with me for 1 second. One quick second. Okay. Let me make sure everyone can say, yes, we're good. Thank you, Alex. Okay. So the first and the most important you should know about is what the federal government is giving you. The one that's going to cost $407 billion, you want some of that money. You want to be one of those people who, even though it's costing us taxpayers, you want to take advantage of it. So I'm going to give you all the different ways you can get public service loan forgiveness. Remember, it only applies to direct loans. That's loans that come directly from the Department of Education. To qualify for public service loan forgiveness, the first main type, you have to be one, employed by the government, either state government, federal government, or tribal government, or maybe even a nonprofit. It doesn't apply to labor unions, political organizations, or let's say like for-profit government contractors. You have to have worked at least full-time, 30 hours a week. The type of loan, again, is only direct loans or loans that you can consolidate into direct loans. Unfortunately, you can't consolidate private loans. I'll talk to the private loan holders in a second. Unfortunately, you can't consolidate private loans into government loans in general. So there's other options for my private loan holders. So under this program, the government program for public service loan forgiveness, what you need to do first is you need to submit a public service loan form annually to the government, right? It's a 120-month program where you make payments over 120 months. That's basically 10 years. But for you to qualify, to make sure you're on track, you have to submit a form every year, and the government will tell you if you're on track. I've seen so many people who told me, public service loan forgiveness didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. There's a problem. I didn't like it. Well, the reason why is because they didn't take the time to make sure that they qualify, right? And so make sure to go to studentAid.gov/PSLF. studentloan.gov/PSLF. Get the form. It's a 1 to 2 page form. Honestly, it'll take you about 30 minutes. All you need is a W-2 if you're employed, or a federal EI number, your federal ID number if you're self-employed. And please go on there, fill out the form. It's not income-based, right? It doesn't depend on whether you, when I say it's not income-based, it doesn't, if you qualify for the career, like a teacher or a nurse that works for the federal government, it's not income-based. But there's the income-based part where, and we'll go over those in a second. So all you have to do is make 120 payments under the plan for 10 years. You can't prepay the plan. So you can't pay, you hit a rainfall of money. You can't pay it all now and then have loan forgiveness now. You actually have to pay it off over 120 period. You can prepay for 1 year, right? So, for example, you can pay, let's say your payment is $500. You can pay $500 times 12, $6,000. Then you don't have to pay for 12 months. You just can't speed it up. You have to wait the 12 months. Your loan now must not be in default. You can't be in default. You can postpone the loan if you work for a non-qualified employer. So, for example, if you work for, I already told you that you need to work for the government to qualify for this, or nonprofit, or some form of government, like a tribal or state government or federal government. But if you don't, if you do for, let's say, 3 or 4 years, and then you get a great job in the private sector for 2 years, if and when you come back to working for the government, those old 3 years, it still counts for you. You'll still be able to use those 3 years as credit. Do you remember that your loan, your public loan, is now on moratorium? You don't have to pay anything between March of 2020 and September of 2021. The government gave you a moratorium. You didn't have to pay interest or principal. Well, over that period of like a year and a half, it counts towards your 10 years, towards your 120 payments. Hallelujah. So make sure to take advantage of it. The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Plan is the biggest and the most important. I see some comments over here. I'll address. I see lots of questions. I have a lot of people on Instagram. I have people on Facebook. I have people on YouTube. There's lots of questions. I'll address your questions hopefully when we have some time. But this information is really critical, and I'm gonna give you I'm giving you some really good stuff. Okay. The second type of federal plan, if you're a teacher, God bless our teachers. Hallelujah. What would we do without teachers? I remember a lot of my ability to write. I write very well, and I'm also, I'm very good in math. I'm also very good in literature, but I always leaned towards math. I was always the math guy. I like the numbers. But I had a teacher in elementary school. Sorry, that's the birds. When you hear the chickens running around, and then we get to see some whales over here. So maybe before I leave, if I see a whale, I'll show it to you. It's a beautiful place over here. But this teacher encouraged me. She said, David, you're great at writing. You love to talk, which I do, and you're very creative with words. And so why don't we, she spent a lot of time on a lot of my ability to communicate in very, very, in a way that's, helps, send my message out, and my writing skills and my spoken, skills came from her. So God bless our teachers. We love our teachers very, very much. Well, there's help for our teachers. Let me tell you, you can get your loans forgiven. Hallelujah. Up to $17,500. I love it. Because teachers, they work so hard. They're like nurses. They work so hard, they don't get a lot of credit, and they don't make a lot of money. So, the first requirement, though, if you're a teacher, to qualify for loan forgiveness, remember, it only applies to direct loans or FFEL loans. Those are the old teacher loans. Direct loans, again, are public loans that you got directly from the Department of Education. You must have been a teacher, a full-time teacher, for 5 consecutive years in a low-income elementary or secondary school, basically K through 12. You also have to be what they call a highly qualified teacher. That just simply means that you have a bachelor's degree and you have full state certification. It applies to charter schools. So if you're a charter school teacher in a low-income area, you qualify. Here's where to go. www.studentaid.gov/TCLI. Again, studentaid.gov//TC. If you have a pen, please write it down. If you don't have a pen, come back to this. And in a few weeks, I'm going to have my website up, davidadefeso.com. You'll have all this information, right? Okay. So now that's for teachers. How much do they forgive? Well, if you're a teacher who teaches math, science, or special ed, you can get up to $17,500 in loan forgiveness. Hallelujah. If you're one of the others, you're not math, science, or special ed, you still get up to $5,000. Look, that's help. That's $5,000 you don't have to pay. What you have to do, though, is complete the teacher loan application form. Now, this URL is very long, so but I can direct you to the, there it is. Alex put it up. This is the form. Please take a screenshot of this, right? Click on it, and this is the form. If you're a teacher and you're listening, you can get your loans canceled. Not maybe not all of them, but up to $17,500 or $5,000. But there's other programs. That's not all. If your school is closed, why you were enrolled? You woke up one day and there's a memo. Sorry, your school ain't open no more. Go home. How does that work? I don't know if that has that ever happened to anybody? Where you're in school and then your school closes? Yikes. You can get your loan discharged, not just forgiven, discharged. Please call your loan servicer. This gets done through your loan servicer. By the way, if your school gets closed down while you're enrolled, the Department of Education will send you an automatic form, automatically, right? You'll have a form. But if you don't receive the form, or you haven't, it's late, go to studentaid.gov/manage loans/repayment/services. I know it's a lot, but it's very important. It's very, very important. Okay. So, Perkins loans, Perkins. Perkins loans, as you know, are for low-income people, low-income students. It covers teachers, firefighters, law enforcement officers to discharge, librarians with master's degrees, military service, nurse or medical technician, professional provider of early intervention services, public defenders, volunteer service. If you're with AmeriCorps or Peace Corps, you can get your loan discharged. The forgiveness is based on a schedule. For the first 1 to 2 years, they'll forgive 15% every year. And then in the third and fourth year, they'll forgive 20% every year. In the final year, year 5, they'll forgive 30%. Perkins loans. But that's not all. I told you I got good stuff for you, right? That's not all. If you're permanently disabled, right? If you're permanently disabled, you fall, God forbid you get hurt, and you can't really work, you can get your loan discharged. www.disabilitydischarge.com. Please go there. I told you I will give you resources, like real life resources. Take a screenshot, write a note, or come back and watch it. It's going to be here for you, right? If you die, God forbid, your beneficiaries, your spouse, doesn't have to pay that loan. Your federal loan is discharged. In addition, your Parent Plus, for those of you whose parents took out loans on their behalf, your Parent Plus loan is discharged if the parent carrying the loan dies, or the child for whom the loan was secured dies. Again, the way to get this done, contact your loan servicer. It's very, very important. Contact your loan servicer and tell them somebody's dead. I want to extinguish those loans. Borrower defense discharge. This is another one. If, for example, your school has misled you, there are many schools who, they sell you a bunch of bull crap for you to come there. They want your money and they want the numbers. They might deceive you on cost. They might tell you they're accredited in certain things and they're not. There's many, many, many things that sometimes schools do that could cause your loan to be discharged if the school is dishonest. Bankruptcy. I've heard this as a financial planner for 17 years. I've heard 17 years my own company, 30 years in the financial services space. Many people say, oh, student loans can't be discharged in bankruptcy. Not true. It's hard, but you can get your federal loans discharged. It's a secret. You can get your federal loans and your private loans discharged, but you have to file under Chapter 7 or Chapter 13, right? Chapter 7 means basically, I don't have any assets. I want everything discharged. Chapter 7 means I have a lot of assets. For example, you have a mortgage, you have student loans. You don't want to give up your house. You just want to have a 3 to 5 year repayment plan. Then you can file for Chapter 13. Either way, with bankruptcy, if you've tried and tried and tried everything, if you've tried to go to, to get one of the public service loan forgiveness plans, if you try to get a private forgiveness plan, if you've tried, without success, to negotiate to reduce your payments, if it's hurting you, if it's keeping you down, if it's hurting your income, if it's taking the income, the money you should be using to feed your children, the money you should be using to invest in your 401k, if it's keeping you down, you gotta use the rules. Our former president, Trump, used the rules. He filed bankruptcy at least once or twice. There's no shame. Use the system legally. As long as it's legal, use the system. You do need to demonstrate undue hardship, though, on you and your dependents if you're forced to repay the loans. Undue hardship means, one, if you're forced to repay the loan, you would not be able to maintain a minimal standard of living, which means life is going to be hard. You also have to show evidence that this hardship will continue for a significant portion of the loan repayment period. So if your loan is to be paid off over 10 years, you have to show that over that 10 years, paying off the loan is going to hurt you. Eventually, you have to also show that you've tried to pay it off in good faith before filing for bankruptcy. You have to show that you've tried. You can't just stop when you're making money and stop making payments. The courts are going to say you didn't try. But if you do try and you qualify, you could get your loans discharged in bankruptcy. How about your parents? Many of our parents have these Parent Plus loans. How can they get those loans discharged under federal law? Well, you're eligible if you die, the parent dies, or the child who the loan is for dies. Disability, the parent gets disabled, or the child. If you file for bankruptcy, if your school closes, or if the school deceives you, there's identity theft, or if your kid withdrew from school and they didn't refund him or her, then you qualify for loan forgiveness. I'm gonna keep going. There's many, many more. I mean, should I keep going? Should I keep going or should I stop? There's many more. I got more for you, right? I'm gonna keep going for now. My battery is already getting weak. I'm not plugged in. I gotta go charge it inside. So we're gonna try to move a little bit faster. I know we've used up a lot of time, but this is really good information that I'm giving you, stuff that is gonna help you. Stuff that could save you $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000. It could save you a lot of money. What I just described are federal plans. But there's state plans available. There's a lot of state plans available for you. Why? 47 states offer their residents loan forgiveness programs. 47 states. Imagine you probably live in a state that'll give you loan forgiveness. You're just not using it. Today, I'm going to show you. It's not broad like the federal public service loan forgiveness that covers income, that covers income repayment plan, that covers any specific type of job. These state plans are usually for specific public sector fields like healthcare and teaching. For example, Kansas City. Thank you, Kansas. They'll give you up to $15,000 in loan forgiveness if you live in certain parts of the state. You just got to move to Kansas and live in certain parts, and you get $15,000 loan forgiveness. Hallelujah. California, my own home state, will help you pay off your loan. If you're a doctor or a healthcare professional like a dentist, they'll help you pay off your loan or pay down your loan. In Texas, my adopted state, where I have a lot of clients. If you're a professor, you're a speech therapist, you're a nurse, you're a doctor, you're a teacher, you're a lawyer. Thank you, Texas. You can get part of your loan forgiven or all of your loan forgiven. How do you find the states? Let me give you one little tip. How do you find the states and what programs they offer? College Investor, by the way, I love this website, thecollegeinvestor.com. It's a great website. It's a great resource for you. Collegeinvestor.com gives you an amazing amount of information on student debt forgiveness. So they don't pay me anything. Nobody pays me anything. I do this because it's a need that I've been called to do, and I want to fulfill my calling, not because I get paid. So I'm saying this because it's a good website. Go to thecollegeinvestor.com /loan/ it's up there. You can see it. Please go to that URL and check your state. Your state could forgive your loans. Please do. Employers, for many of you working, you're employed, right? Many of you are employed. Almost 3% of companies in America offer some form of loan repayment plan. Almost 3%, right? That's a lot of companies. So let me tell you, they either offer tuition assistance or loan repayment. Now, we got to define both. But let me tell you what the statistics are. 45% of employees would rather have a student loan repayment assistance program than a 401k. 45%. 54% of younger employees, 54% of younger employees, 18 to 24, 54% of younger employees would prefer to have a student loan repayment plan program than a 401k. 53% of all employees would prefer to have the student loan repayment assistance over additional vacation time. So for my companies out there, American companies out there, listen to your employees. Your employees are telling you, we need, sorry, it's really hot. It's like 94 or something over here. So I'm sweating. But I'm excited because I had $125,000 in student debt when I graduated from Harvard Business School. And I wish I had this information. I could have had a lot of my debt forgiven, but I didn't. So I'm giving you that information I didn't have so it can help you. For the companies out there who are good, who have these great workers that are giving you their life, many of these people need your help. They need your help. To the companies out there to help them. 401ks are good. Loan forgiveness is better. A loan repayment and forgiveness is better. In addition, I implore the federal government. We need a tax deduction for employers who match. When an employer matches or gives you loan forgiveness, they should get a tax deduction like a 401k. I don't see any reason why. So please help me write to Joe Biden and tell him we want employers who are paying their loans on behalf of their staff to be able to deduct it, and also people who give matches for people who are still saving for college. So it's a distinction though for employer plans between state loan repayment assistance and tuition reimbursement. Tuition reimbursement is basically your employer says, you know what? Those are my birds. They're always chirping over here. Anyway, so with tuition reimbursement, the employer pays an ongoing portion of your cost of your tuition, right? I think a Starbucks has a plan. Walmart has a plan like that. But with student loan repayment assistance, you already have the debt. Your company actually helps you pay it down and pay it off. So keep that in mind. A good place to go to start, I'm going to lean you again towards collegeinvestor.com. Please go to thecollegeinvestor.com. The link is on your screen, and you'll be able to figure out. I list all the companies out there. It will give you a list of all the companies. Go check, see if your company is on there. If your company is on there, call them, negotiate with them. Tell them you want student loan forgiveness. Your company may have a repayment plan. This link on here, on the screen, is where you should go to check if your company has a repayment plan. It could be part of your benefits program and you don't know. Is that all the loan forgiveness, loan repayment plan, loan assistance repayment plans available? No, there's more. There's tons and tons of other institutions that'll give you loan forgiveness. The National Institute of Health will give you loan forgiveness, up to 25% of your debt if you work for them. National Health Services Score will give you up to $50,000. The American Bar Association, right, will help you pay off your debt. The Attorney Student Loan Forgiveness Program, if you work in an attorney in an underserved area, you can have or you work as a public defender, right, for the government, you can have your loan forgiven. There's a faculty loan repayment program. If you work as a faculty member in certain institutions, the government will allow you to forgive your debt up to $40,000. Indian Health Services Loan Repayment. If you work on a reservation or you work in an Indian facility that's lower income, you get up to $20,000 per year. Nurses are very dear to me because my mom was a nurse for 30 years. core loan program. If you work in certain areas, you can have your debt forgiven. Again, I'm going to send you to the collegeinvestor.com. Please go see all these programs are there. There's dozens of programs. The link on your screen now will give you all those programs. Well, the link will come up pretty soon. It'll give you all the information you need. There's more. Please go there. thecollegeinvestor.com/578 slash 578 ways to student loan forgiveness. It should be on your screen anytime from now. There you go. It's on your screen now. Please use it. What if you don't qualify for loan service repayment? What if you don't qualify for forgiveness or you're unable to eliminate your debt through one of the methods I've taught you? Like you have a private loan. Well, there's help. The first place you want to go, call your loan servicer and work out an agreement. How do you find your loan servicer? I'm going to give you that too. I'm going to spoon feed you. I've learned that sometimes when you tell people what to do, sometimes people are so busy in their lives that they don't do it. Sometimes you have to hold their hand and you have to walk them through. And that's what I'm doing today. I've done all the work. I'm on vacation, but I'm doing all the work for you because that's my way of giving back. That's my way of helping you from going from 99% to the 1%. So if you don't qualify for loan forgiveness or elimination through one of the things I've shown you or the resources I've shown you, call your loan services plan. How do you get your loan services plan provider number? It's right there. studentaid.gov/manage/loan/repayment/servicers. Go there. Please. I'm begging you to help yourself. It's okay. That's what I do anyway. Go help yourself. They can help you reach an agreement. Tell them I can't pay my loan. I can't pay $2,000 a month. I can only pay $200 a month, for whatever the number is. You can also consolidate your loans. Now, if it's a private loan, you're probably not going to reduce your interest, but at least it makes it easier. It's one loan instead of 3 or 4 or 5. You can refinance. Interest rates are very low right now compared to where they were maybe when you got your loan. You can refinance to reduce your payments. In addition, if you're having trouble paying off your debt, you may really want to think about reducing your expenses. There are many, many ways. As a financial planner, I teach people these things. Cut your subscriptions, your gym subscription, your subscription to this, your subscription to that. You have book subscriptions, club subscriptions, this subscription. Cut those out. Your $5, $6, $7 Starbucks coffee every day. Cut it out. Make coffee at home. Eliminate cable. Cook at home. I cook at home now. I cook my own food. I'm a vegan, so it's hard to find food anyway. Where I am now, I brought my own food, and I have a chef that comes from time to time. But I like my own food. Cook at home. In addition, get some overtime. Work some extra hours. Get a different job. Right? Break out of the inertia. Change careers if you have to. Let me tell you a little story. I used to be an accountant for 4 years after college. I worked 3 jobs, but one of them was an accountant. And I realized I didn't like it. I wasn't making enough money. I wasn't connecting with being an auditor. It was kind of boring. I wanted something else. It was boring for me. It's a great career. It's just boring for me. And so I decided, in order for me, I read a book, right, called Barbarians of the Gate. And I wanted to be an investment banker because the book was like, man, it's cool, investment bankers and all this. So I wanted to be that. But how do I go from being an accountant with a college degree from Lagos in Nigeria to becoming an investment banker? Because being an investment banker is sort of creme de la creme in America. Very, very difficult to get into, even from a great school. So I decided to switch careers by going back to school. That's why I went to Harvard Business School. Just so you didn't know, I went to Harvard Business School because I wanted to switch careers. You can do the same thing. Go get your master's. Go do something else. And when you get your master's, there's a lot of programs to help you pay off your loans. I'll be teaching you those later. In general, if I've thrown out too much information at you, or you need help trying to figure out, is it federal, is it state? I'm going to give you a resource that can help you. www.loanbuddy.us. It can help you put in a little bit of information about yourself. It'll help tell you whether you're federal, whether you're state, whether employer, what kind of plan will help you. Get the free platform. Don't subscribe to the 99 or 149. You don't need to. I like free. You know me. I like cheap. I like free. I like inexpensive. You can do the paperwork. They offer to do all this paperwork and apply. You can do all that paperwork yourself. You don't need to pay anybody $99 a month. Get the free subscription. Use the tool to figure out for yourself what you should be using, what you should be doing to forgive your loans. So I want to kind of stop there today. I've given you a lot of information. I've gone over my 30 minutes, but this was so much information. I was so excited to talk to you about, because I know a lot of you have asked me about student loans, and I really wanted to talk to you about this because I felt this was one of the most impactful sessions I could have. And even though I'm on vacation, it's okay. I could take a few hours of my time to bless you with something that's dear to my heart, something that I experienced, something that really hurt me, student loans. But luckily, I was able to pay off my own student loans because I got this investment banking job. I was making a lot of money. Many people don't have that opportunity. So what I'm doing for you is I'm showing you the ways for you to actually achieve it. The next class, next week, I'm going to be back, is today was about people who already have student debt. Before you get student debt, for your children, right? Before you get student debt, your cousins, your younger family members, or even yourself who are thinking of going back to school, I'm going to teach you of all the ways to go to college using free money. It's called free money. Yes, there's some free things in life. It's called free money. Scholarships and grants are beaucoup. There's tons and tons and tons and tons of scholarships and grants for you. You need to apply. Some of them are income-based if you don't make a lot of money. Some of them are because of your race, your country of origin, your program of study. Some of them there's just many programs, right? Scholarships and grants. How to get free money to pay for college. That's what I'll be teaching you next week. I want to kind of stop over here. Next week at 2 p.m. So, should we take a couple of questions? I got to go to the beach. I got two things I got to do today. I got to go snorkeling, whale watching, and I got to go hiking. And it's already almost 12 noon. I love spending time with y'all, but maybe I'll take questions next week. In the meantime, I love you very much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers. I appreciate everything that you do for me. Make sure next week you bring 5 people. Tell 5 people. They have to log on. And don't forget, hit the subscribe button before you log. Hey, Darlene. Hi, how are you? Darlene was a good friend of mine when I was at Harvard Business School. She actually helped me through a lot. She was one of my, they call these people covenants, a covenant for me. She was a big, it was tough. I didn't have any money. I was hungry. I was borrowing money everywhere. At Harvard. So she really helped me. She's on here. So I'm gonna go snorkeling. Thanks for your support. I love you very much. See you soon.